I noticed this the other day. I was making a simple decision, something I used to do without thinking. And I paused, not because it was hard, but because I didn't feel sure anymore. And then I did that thing where I started checking myself. Is this right? Am I missing something? Should I rethink this? And suddenly something small felt heavy, not because the decision changed, but because my trust in myself did. If this feels familiar, stay with me. It doesn't feel like distrust at first. It doesn't show up as I don't trust myself. It shows up quieter than that. Hesitation, self-checking, self-doubt, double-checking. A small pause where there didn't used to be one. I catch myself rereading messages before sending them, not to improve them, but to make sure I didn't somehow get it wrong. And it's subtle, but over time, that pause starts to grow. You start outsourcing your decisions. I remember texting someone about something I already knew the answer to, not because I needed help, but because I wanted confirmation, more of like a second opinion. Just a quick, yeah, that makes sense. So I could feel okay moving forward. And it hit me later. I wasn't asking for input. I was asking for permission. You might have felt this too. When your confidence quietly turns into checking. Past mistakes start echoing louder than they should. It's strange how one wrong decision can stick. Not the big ones even. Sometimes just small things. A moment where I misread something, said the wrong thing, trusted the wrong instinct. And now that moment lingers, not as a memory, but as a warning. So every new decision feels like it's being measured against it. You begin to question your own reactions. Something happens, instead of just feeling it, I analyze it. Is this too much? Am I overreacting? Should I feel this way? And it creates distance, not from the situation, but from myself. Like I don't fully trust my own emotional response anymore. Clarity turns it into over-evaluation. There was a time when things felt clear. Not perfect, but clear enough. Now that same clarity gets interrupted. I have a thought and immediately start breaking it apart. Not to understand it better, but to make sure it's correct. And somewhere in that process, the original clarity disappears. Maybe this isn't broken trust. Maybe it's overloaded awareness. Because when I really look at it, I don't think I suddenly became someone who can't trust myself. I think I became someone who sees too many angles at once. Every choice, every reaction, every possibility. And instead of moving forward, I stay there, evaluating. Maybe the issue isn't that my trust is gone. Maybe it's buried under too much thinking. You start waiting for certainty that never comes. I notice this loop. I don't act because I don't feel 100% sure, but I never feel 100% sure because I don't act. So I wait for clarity, for confidence, for that feeling of now I know. And it rarely shows up. Not because I'm incapable, but because certainty isn't how most decisions actually work. Small decisions start feeling heavier than they are. I remember standing somewhere trying to choose between two simple options. Maybe it was like fish or chicken, something like that. Nothing important. And still, I felt stuck, going back and forth, reevaluating, trying to get it right. And I caught myself thinking, why does this feel like it matters so much? It wasn't the decision. It was the weight I put on being right. You might have felt this too when even small choices start to feel loaded. You don't notice how much you've drifted from yourself. It doesn't happen all at once. There's no moment where you go, I don't trust myself anymore. It's a gradual process, a little more hesitation, a little more checking, a little more distance, until one day you realize you're not moving the way you used to move. Not because you can't, but because you don't feel safe doing it. Trust doesn't come back through thinking. It comes back through moving. I keep trying to think my way back into trust, analyze more, be more careful, get more certain, but it didn't work. What started shifting things was doing small things without over-checking, letting a decision stand, letting a reaction be enough, letting myself move, even without certainty. And slowly, something started to return. Not confidence, not certainty, just a quiet sense of, I can go with this. I don't think self-trust disappears. I think it gets covered by overthinking, by past moments, by trying to be right all the time. And the way back isn't dramatic. It's small. It's choosing not to check one more time. It's letting something be enough. It's moving before you feel completely ready, not because you're sure, but because you're starting to trust that you don't need to be sure. I'm Scott Stewart, and you're not crazy.